Desire is the fire. Ambition is the forge. Most people never take the hammer, so the fire consumes them instead. Last time we decoded desire. You learned it's not your enemy, it's your fuel. You stopped fighting hunger, you made it your ally. But fuel without direction? That's just a bonfire in the dark. Today we're building the cathedral. Ambition isn't about wanting more, it's about constructing more. It's the difference between fire and forge, between dreaming and designing. The unstoppable aren't those who desire most, they're those who architect best. This is your construction manual, the hidden code that transforms hunger into dynasty. Because you're not here to survive your desire, you're here to build with it. Let's establish the foundation. Ambition is not a feeling, it's a framework. Most people confuse ambition with intensity. They think it's about working harder, wanting more, pushing further. But that's still desire talking. Ambition is something else entirely. It's the psychological structure that gives your desire form, direction, permanence. Think of it this way. Desire asks, what do I want? Ambition asks, what am I building? The first is a question, the second is a blueprint. And here's what changes everything. Buildings don't collapse when you're tired. Structures don't disappear when you lose motivation. Once you shift from desiring to architecting, you become immune to the fluctuations that destroy everyone else. You're no longer chasing, you're constructing. Let that foundation settle. Every cathedral has chambers. Every kingdom has rooms. Ambition has 3. Chamber 1, vision. Not the future you fantasize about, the future you engineer. Vision and ambition isn't imagination, it's specification, architectural precision. When you know exactly what you're building, your brain stops wandering. It stops second-guessing. It starts constructing. The unstoppable don't say, I want to be successful. They say, I'm building a company that operates in 14 countries with this specific culture, solving this exact problem. Specificity is structure. Chamber 2, system. The daily stones that become the castle. Here's the truth about construction. Nothing grand is built in grand gestures. Cathedrals rise one stone at a time. Kingdoms expand one decision at a time. Bach composed one cantata every Sunday for 6 years. 312 cantatas, not when inspired, every Sunday. That was his masonry. The unstoppable don't wait for the muse. They lay stones. Your system is your masonry. The small, boring, repetitive actions that compound into something no one can tear down. Not inspiration, not motivation, architecture. Chamber 3, iteration. The ability to rebuild what breaks. Every structure encounters stress, cracks form, storms hit, parts crumble. The difference between those who build and those who dream? The builders expect this. They've already designed for iteration. They don't see failure as collapse. They see it as construction data. Identify which chamber is weakest in your ambition. This week, reinforce only that one. Not all 3, just the weakest. Watch the whole structure stabilize. Now we build the throne room. Sovereignty is the heart of ambition, and sovereignty is simple. You are the architect, not the circumstances, not the conditions. You. Most people build their ambitions on conditional ground. When I have money, I'll start. When I have time, I'll build. When conditions are right, I'll act. That's not ambition. That's permission seeking. The unstoppable build on sovereign ground. They ask one question, What can I construct with what I control? And here's what's radical about this. What you control is always enough to start. You don't need perfect conditions. You need one decision, one stone, one choice. The throne room doesn't appear. You build it choice by choice, decision by decision. And once you accept that you're the architect, not waiting for materials, not waiting for approval, not waiting for conditions, you become unstoppable because your ambition is no longer dependent on anything external. Here's the code you must know about building kingdoms. The blueprint stage is lonely. When you're architecting something real, something that's never existed before, the crowd can't see it yet. They can't understand the blueprints. They see you working on nothing. They see you obsessed with invisible structures. And they'll tell you to come back to reality. You need to know reality is what builders create, what architects design, what ambitious minds construct. The crowd lives in yesterday's architecture. You're drafting tomorrow's. This isolation isn't abandonment, it's incubation. It's the necessary space where blueprints become buildings. The unstoppable understand. Before you can build with others, you must build alone. The vision must be clear in one mind before it can be shared with many. This is your drafting chamber. Protect it. Create 1 hour daily where no one can access you, no phone, no people, just you and your blueprints. This is your construction time, non-negotiable. Most people quit here, not because it's hard, but because it's silent. And silence terrifies those who've never ruled themselves. Now let's talk about time. Most people treat ambition like a sprint. They want to build a cathedral in a weekend. The unstoppable knows something different. Ambition is compound architecture. Every day you lay one stone. That stone seems insignificant, invisible even. But compound architecture has a mathematical secret. The beginning is slow, the middle is gradual, the end is exponential. You work for months and see nothing. Then suddenly everything appears at once. This is why most people quit. They're laying stones during the invisible phase, and they think nothing's being built. But the unstoppable trust the compound. They understand that construction always works this way. The Roman aqueducts still stand 2,000 years later. Not because Romans hoped they would, because they engineered them to. That's the difference between ambition and wishing. One architect's inevitability, the other hopes for luck. The foundation takes longer than the spire, but without the foundation there is no spire. Feel that patience becoming power. Here's where ambition becomes unstoppable. When you architect well enough, when your structure is sound enough, when your sovereignty is absolute enough, success stops being a goal. It becomes inevitable. Not because you're lucky, not because you're talented, but because you've built a structure that mathematically must succeed. Think about it. A well-designed bridge doesn't hope to stay standing. Its architecture guarantees it. A properly constructed building doesn't wish to endure storms. Its engineering ensures it. This is what ambition does. It transforms hope into structure, wishes into engineering, dreams into inevitability. The unstoppable don't believe they'll succeed. They've built systems that cannot fail. And when you reach this level, when your ambition is so architecturally sound that success is structural, not hopeful, you become truly unstoppable because you're no longer fighting for it. You're simply building it into existence. Let's look at those who built what couldn't be destroyed. Marcus Aurelius wrote Meditations while ruling an empire through plague and war, not as philosophy, but as architecture. Each page was a blueprint for self-sovereignty. He built an inner kingdom so well designed that 2,000 years later, it still stands. Alexander the Great inherited a small kingdom at 20 and looked at the known world. He didn't dream of conquest. He architected it. City by city, battle by battle, he constructed an empire that stretched from Greece to India. When his generals said it was impossible to cross the Himalayas, he built the route anyway. He wasn't chasing glory. He was constructing legacy in real time. Leonardo da Vinci filled thousands of pages with designs that didn't exist yet. Not sketches, blueprints, machines without materials, structures without permission, ideas engineered before the world was ready to carry them. He understood something most never do. Construction begins long before execution, before tools, before resources, before approval. It begins in structure, in how the mind organizes chaos into form. That's why his work didn't age. His projects failed, his ideas waited, his era moved on. But the architecture of his thinking outlived them all. These weren't people with bigger desires than you. They were architects who built while others dreamed. They understood. The crown isn't given. The kingdom isn't inherited. The throne doesn't appear. Everything is constructed, stone by stone, decision by decision, day by day. You are capable of this, not because you're special, but because construction is available to anyone who commits to the blueprint. So when do you become unstoppable? Not when you achieve the goal, not when the crowd recognizes you, not when the crown is placed on your head. You become unstoppable the moment you realize you're not chasing a crown, you're architecting one. The throne isn't waiting somewhere in the future. It's being built in every disciplined decision, every sovereign choice, every stone you lay when no one's watching. The crown was never external. It's the structure you're constructing inside you. And here's the truth that changes everything. Once you shift from desiring to architecting, once you stop chasing and start constructing, once you understand that ambition is building, not wanting, you're already wearing it. The crown isn't the destination, it's the journey itself. And when you see that, when you truly see it, you realize the construction was the coronation. Every stone you laid while alone, every blueprint you drafted while doubted, every decision you made without permission, those weren't steps toward the throne. Those were the throne materializing. You weren't building toward sovereignty. You were becoming it. This is your coronation, not because you've arrived, but because you've finally started building. Welcome home, architect. In 3 days, we reveal the hidden code of willpower, the force that holds your entire architecture together when storms hit, when the structure shakes, when construction gets hard. Because ambition builds the kingdom, but willpower is what keeps it standing. The forge is where the fire is shaped. The hammer is the first decision, but what lasts is what you build after. If you're ready to stop letting the fire consume you and start constructing your crown, subscribe to JourneyToCrown. You're not here to chase applause. You're here to build your empire. Desire is the fire. Ambition is the architecture. Willpower is what keeps it standing. And you're the builder. The blueprint is in your hands.